Good morning, everyone. Dark 30. A little bit light, though. The sun's almost up. Drank some coffee, ate some donuts. Surprise, surprise. Had a good sleep last night, nice and mild. 40, 45. Didn't wear my puffy at all. Just had my base layer and t-shirt on in the bag, and I just said in the bag. But slept really well and comfortably like that. So spring is on its way. Now I say that, and today's supposed to be cooler, and then tonight's supposed to be cold, and tomorrow it's not supposed to be above like 32. So there's still winter to be had. So it will be a wintry day tomorrow, or a cold day. It's not going to be wintry. There's no snow or rain forecasted. It's just going to be a cold day, and it only lasts for like one day. So one of those one-day cold fronts. So I'm going to get as many miles today as I can. Regardless of what it is tomorrow, I'm going to do that anyway. Glad I'm starting off early, though, with that late start yesterday. Still got 20 miles yesterday with the late start. So hoping for like 25 or so today. Really depends, though, what is around 25. Because obviously I have to camp somewhere. So, I know there's some cow pastures and farmland around there. And I don't know if there's any place to pop a tent in that area or not, but I'll figure that out as I go. Got a good long day ahead, and looks pretty nice up in the sky. It's supposed to be cloudy today, but I see some clearing up there, so it might just be partly cloudy. But we're going to have a great day of conquering and summiting and just seeing some beautiful views and enjoying nature and all that God has made for us to enjoy and going to live this life. So before I start rambling too much after drinking my coffee, let's get going. I got to camp last night and, just set up in the shelter there. So nice, easy setup. I didn't feel like cooking, though, and the main reason was I think I weighted myself down too much when I was in Perrysburg with food. And it happens sometimes where you need everything at once, so everything becomes new, and so it's heavy. For instance, like a whole package of those donut sticks, a whole package of beef links. It's not like I just needed one or two. I needed, fresh from the beginning. But the big one is peanut butter. Got a jar of peanut butter is £1. So, oh, that's a reflector. I thought there was a flashlight there on me. It's a reflector on a tree or something. I'm like, why is there a flashlight there? There's nobody there. This section of trail has a lot of rocks and roots on it. I've been tripping all day yesterday. I did actually fall down once. It was weird. My body didn't. It was like the first time that I've tripped like that and my body didn't catch itself or almost catch itself. It's like it just went straight down. It was weird. It's a one-time thing, I hope, because my reflexes are usually pretty darn good, and they were not good that time. I just went straight down just from tripping on a root. Thank goodness it was a soft part of the ground. But anyway, telling too many stories at once there. So it was a good night of eating, I'll put it that way. I ate a lot of food, but I ate my heavy food. So I ate a good portion of my peanut butter, a lot of cheese, combos, made some herbal tea. It was just a little bit of everything, just heavy stuff. So I probably ate a good pound or maybe 2 pounds of food to lighten up the pack a little bit. Some days you'll have that where you just have to eat your weight, because I was definitely much heavier than usual. That was almost like a 5 or 6 day supply of food there. And I definitely didn't need that much, but I'll definitely eat it. I'll tell you that. All right, let's go. Let's continue on this beautiful, clear day where the birds are singing. Gorgeous view right there. Wow. I'm here just cruising along, and I'm like, man, I really thought I had a incline coming over the next few miles, and it's been little spurts and then flat and then descent and cross water and then a little up, and like, this just doesn't seem like the amount of elevation I was supposed to be having. So I just looked at the map, and no, I was right. There's elevation, but it's all in the next mile. 1,000 feet in the next mile. I'm glad I'm awake, because that would be a burner if I wasn't trying to oh, nice, hold on. Crossing logs on this little stream that's moving. Not the stream's moving, the logs. Ugh. I don't have the best balance for things like that. So I have to go really slow. But 1,000 feet in the next mile. if I get there, I keep tripping on everything. Sometimes these things stick up out of the leaves and you can't see them. And I don't really trip on them. They snag like my shoe and like hold on to my foot as I'm moving forward. It's kind of like a trip, but not really tripping as much as something just grabbing my foot. Anyway, 1,000 feet in the next mile. Could be a nice little burner. Get up high again. Probably get some really good views here soon. I know a couple summits are coming up as well. Woohoo! I'm sweating like a pig, climbing up this mountain, pouring down my face. It's flowing like a fountain, the grind, the time, but I find that I'm feeling fine. Yeah. I love it when people talk about Pennsylvania being Rocksylvania, like it's the only state with rocks. There's rocks in every state. I'd say Georgia is probably the least amount, but there are rocks in every state. Maryland is pretty much rocks from beginning to end. I think there's like a 5 or 10 mile section that I remember that there wasn't as many rocks. It's not just Pennsylvania. Then you go into Jersey, rocks. You go into New York, rocks. Virginia, rocks. It's not all rocks anywhere, not even Pennsylvania. It's like 1/3 it's super rocky, and then 1/3 is this kind of rocky, I guess. And then another third that's really no rocks at all and really flat. So it's all relative. I don't know, maybe by the time people get to Pennsylvania, they forget like the rocks. And Pennsylvania is worse. I'm not going to say it's not worse. For that 1/3, it's very consistent and big rocks and the sharp kind of rocks that hurt your feet and ankles and everything else. But a lot of injuries can happen on rocks, but the rocks are everywhere. Sometimes it just slows you down, like right there. That was a good mile or mile and a half of the kind of rocks that just make you have to pick the right spot. Make sure you're not twisting your ankle or stepping on a loose rock that can throw your ankle or jab your foot or smash your toes. Just got to be careful no matter what it is. Basically, the point of this comment right now is it's all relative. You got to take it all anyway, so might as well not get negativity in your head about a certain state, because those things are in every state. Every state has hills and incline and decline and rocks, and some states are a little worse than others and slower going than others, but at the end of the day, still have to go through them all. And it's not like every state doesn't have rocks, because they all do. At some point or another, you're going to have to go through them when you're on the Appalachian Trail. Came off the trail, come down by this big wall because I'm going to have a business meeting, and it's very private. Only the board has been invited. None of them are here yet, so I'm going to go ahead and start the meeting without them. Even though the business meeting was private, I can tell you it was a success. Things were accomplished. the summit of Wind Rock. Very fitting today as it's windy. Beautiful views off this cliff. And Wind Rock is in the bag. As you can see, not everything is hilly. Most everything is hilly, but every once in a while you come to a flat spot that's more than just 15 feet wide on a ridge. This is the kind of place that you would expect to see bears. So I'm looking for them. Just out there foraging, looking for food. This is the type of place I would normally see, and sometimes on a slope. But I mean, they'll go anywhere. They can run up a mountain, down a mountain. Doesn't matter. They're tough and strong. But this is the majority of the time that I've seen bears has been something like this, where it's kind of flat, a lot of trees. And they're just turning up rocks or eating berries or doing what bears do. Haven't seen any yet this year, but I know that won't last long. I think I'll see quite a few this year, maybe more than I ever have in one year, just because of the mileage and the areas I'm going to be besides the AT. I mean, the AT alone will show me quite a few up north, I'm sure, but when I head out to the PCT, the areas I'll be doing there, very high bear population as well. It's a beautiful day today. Sitting about 14 miles right now today. It has been a lot of different types of trail. A lot of water crossings, a lot of rocks for, I don't know, a good 5-6 miles of today's trek. Climbed a nice steep climb. A couple climbs have been involved, but one nice steep one, and that's the one that pretty much got me to the top of Windy Rock. We'll be climbing here again in a few moments as I climb Kelly's Knob. Not sure which, I'll have to check on that. And yes, that does sound like one that I've already summited this year. So there must be another Kelly's Knob somewhere else, I can't remember where. I've been on a lot of mountains, but I think I remember a Kelly's Knob in Tennessee or North Carolina. Or Georgia. I don't think it's Georgia though. But maybe that's one of those names where there's one of them in every state. I don't know. But going good today. Partly cloudy, partly sunny. However you want to look at it, it goes back and forth. That sun comes out of the clouds. Part of the trail's been really windy. Part of it is like now, where there's no wind at all. So just taking it as it's coming to me today. Gonna have some pastures and meadows up here, along with, like I said, another summit. Quite a few more miles to go today. But I'm enjoying the trail, especially right now. Kind of flat, a little reprieve. Really pretty, for sure. Mm-hmm. So I talked with Kelly Knobb and asked her if she could come down here and meet me halfway. She said no. She's gonna make me climb up there to get the views. So that's what I'm gonna do. 1,000 feet in the last mile. 1,000 feet to go in the next 2 miles. So it's a little less graded. But 2 more miles and I'll be at that summit. That was a little bit of a burner. I called a sweater instead. Didn't really burn, just made me sweat a lot. Pretty steep. And it had moments of flatness, so that will tell you when I was going up exactly how steep it was, because it wasn't 1,000 feet a mile the whole time, because that'd be like 25%, but it was probably 10%, 35%, 10%, 35%. But a couple more miles and I will be there. This little section right here has a bunch of leaves with rocks under it, so I had to go slow. You don't want to race across the top of those tiny, softball sized rocks, because they can move on you, flip your ankle and such, and you don't always see them because of the leaves. So always try to take those nice and slow. All right, let's go to this summit. They're so fun. Well, that's cool. I just did another 900 in that mile. Actually, in 0.8 miles. So now there's only like 200 and something left of elevation, but there's 1.2 miles still. You know what that means? That means it's going to be flat for a good long time, because I'm at the top of the ridge and there's just going to be like another bump as I get close to the summit of about 200, and then there's a little side trail, so that might be another 100 or 200 on the side trail. But 300 or 400 in a 1.2 to 1.5 mile stretch is pretty easy compared to the almost 2,000 of elevation I just did in 2 miles. And that wasn't hard per se, it just made me sweat a lot. Wasn't a fan of the blowdowns. Done a lot of blowdowns today, but I wanted to show you on camera what it's like sometimes when you can't crawl over it because it's too high, but you can't get under it because your back and your head is too high. So you have to like kind of squat and then do the limbo. So you're squatting and then you go down even lower once your head gets under, because then the backpack has to go under, or else that tree pushes you right down on the ground. I know, it's happened before. So I just don't like to go all the way down on my knees, because that's a lot of stretching for when I'm walking and not the kind of stretching I need at that moment. Not trying to do squats. Alrighty, so another mile, will be at the top of Kelly's, and another mile or so after that is a shelter in which I might stop and eat, or I might stay in camp. Just going to depend when I get there, what the weather looks like, and all that good stuff. Or I might push on another 6 or so to the next shelter and be set up a really good position for tomorrow. It might be somewhat easy miles, because I know 2 miles of that is in cow pastures and meadows, which, I love those. But I do need to get food in me, especially if I go another 6 miles. I want to kind of eat my dinner before I would do that. And then I could just get into the shelter and go, right to bed, or have a snack and then go to bed. Probably be the snack. All right, continuing on. You're right here with me, so you'll know what I do. Hey, I see you grinning. I know that you know what's about ready to happen. Standing on the summit of Kelly Knob. A bunch of big boulders up here at the summit with some big crevices in between those boulders. Don't want to go down there. There's one in between there too. They go down quite a bit. Wouldn't want to fall down there. But that's okay, because this is the summit, the highest point of Kelly Knob. We're not going anywhere near that crevasse. Beautiful views to the south. And Kelly Knob is in the bag. I decided to set up camp here tonight. This is the Laurel Creek Shelter, about 2,700 feet of elevation, so it's a little lower. The wind won't bother it quite as much here. In a garden of Mount Laurel and rhododendron trees, and you know I'm a sucker for that. Right here is where I'm setting up my tent. Nice flat spot, log to sit on, real close to the picnic table for my dinner. One of many dinners, probably. I don't take this opportunity very often, so I wanted to jump on it tonight. A good 2 or 3 hours before sunset, where I can just chill and relax and eat to my heart's content. Take my time setting my tent up. Maybe even go to bed a little early. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just sit and look at the stars tonight. I don't know. Be living life, whatever I'm doing. But the next shelter was about 6.5 miles away. By the time I ate here, because I was definitely going to eat here regardless, and then go on if I was going to go on, would have been a little later than I wanted, not knowing what kind of wind there would be there, because it has been pretty windy at times, gusting up to 40, I would say. But only in certain spots. Besides that, it's real calm like this. So I decided to do this. I could have tented a couple miles down, close to the pastures and meadows, but from what I'm hearing and seeing about that, it's real close to a road, which is really loud at night. I'd rather be in a peaceful rhododendron garden. So I'm going to set my tent up, get some grub, and enjoy this evening like I usually don't. It's about 20 miles today, though, so still a good day. But I'm ready to just rest and take it all in tonight. If I don't see y'all before, remember, live life.